Good morning. It is a rainy Friday here in Florida, but hey, it's a beautiful it's a beautiful scenery. We get some of the best skyscapes here, and especially during a storm. But so I figured I'd kick back and listen to my boy Don K. Preston talk about Joel Richardson and the Book of Revelation. So I love his preterist Hermetic take on the Bible. I was reading Matthew 20 to 24 about the temple, and I don't know, it just becomes more and more clear to me that preterism is the truth. It's the answer. The judgment uh, on Israel and the starting of the new messianic age was the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. I mean, there's no way around it. Revelation was John's Olivet discourse to the book of Matthew. It all pairs the same. It's just whether how it's your frame of perspective. I'm fortunate enough that when I got back into this at my age, I'm in my 40s, and so I don't really have a team. I'm not Protestant or Catholic or Eastern Orthodox. I think everybody that has been in it this long has already had a vested interest. They already have a side to fight for. And they don't want to break that paradigm because they don't want to, after all, disrespect the people that they looked up to for so long. Whereas me coming back into the faith, I had it when I was a kid, but coming back into it now with fresh eyes, I don't have a dog in this fight, only truth. I'm just trying to find the truth. I follow the truth because what is that? That is Christ. So I don't care who's right or wrong. I just want to know what the truth is because that's where I'll find Jesus. And and that's where the Spirit will lead you. So I think a lot of people know that there's inconsistencies in their own thought, and so they just try to figure out how to wiggle around that. Now, uh, do I find myself doing the same thing with the preterism? Some things are very inconsistent. The 1,000 days is still up in the air. I don't believe it as something literal, but then again, I do see how people could take it as a millennial 1,000 years as well. So if it meant a perfected amount of years, etc., then I don't know. I'll have to see a little more research into it. But I've been loving the process so far, and Don Preston is one of those guys that really drives it home for me. So without me yapping anymore, let's bring it home to my boy. Here we go. And listen, they all have some sort of interpretation that involves something in the future. Even the Eastern Orthodox, the Dr. Harry, is still talking about some sort of Antichrist futurist figure. So they're all. I thought they were partial. I thought Jay Dyer was a partial preterist, and then but yet Dr. Harry is talking about some Antichrist figure. Well, then is Eastern Orthodox one doctrine, because they seem like they have two different eschatologies, and and everybody has varying degrees. But that's my point. When Jay Dyer says that, well, if all Protestants is just arbitrary, I agree. I agree to that. But what I could just sincerely say is, you're just trying to someone is trying to follow the truth, and if I find that my truth is inconsistent with Eastern Orthodox, even if I'm still wrong, I'm still sincere in trying to find the truth. And I don't think men were in. I don't think when he talks about the church, I don't think the church was meant to be a gatekeeper like that. I think it was meant to be open for discussion, and the fact that they don't want to have discussion just proves that they don't get it. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, that was my. That's why I still hang on the partial preterism thing. What is that about? Let's see what he has to say. And I think most people would get this if they just looked at it with fresh eyes. They're already, I think, you always imply that ever since I was a kid, for example, Revelation was about the end of time. Like I thought apocalypse. When you think apocalypse, you think of like, oh, this is it. This is the end of time, and that just gets drilled in people's head. So if they were to look at it for what it is, um, that it was a historical, a soon to be event for them, and what it meant for them, opening up a whole new world that basically what it is now. People aren't happy with it, but look, Christianity is spread across the world. It will eventually take over the world in one way or another, either Eastern Orthodox or whatever we got going on here in America. Um, so Russian, I'm guessing it's probably going to be Russian Orthodox and a mix of Mahayana Buddhism. Uh, United States will go to war and they'll lose, or like to purposely get demoted, and then it'll be Israel and Russia, and then I think Russia will prevail at that point. Just because they'll probably sign up with China. Anyway, that's my little prediction on the future. If you want to be a futurist, but as far as Revelation here, 70 AD was it, and it was in the future for them, but it lines up perfectly, first of all, with the prophecy of Daniel. That's what the whole thing was about, was these 490 weeks. Well, that's when it ended, and it couldn't have gone any further. Even Rashi says it couldn't have gone any further than 250 CE. So if it wasn't the Messiah, who else was it? And he said he was bringing down judgment on Jerusalem, gave him 40 years. It makes complete sense. Boom, boom. Okay, so the judgment of all men started at the crucifixion. That was basically the sacrifice, the final sacrifice. The beginning of the messianic age started then. Is that what this millennial? Let's keep. Let's see. And how about is it Daniel 9:27? The prince comes with his people and destroys the place. Like, come on, how can you not see that? Okay, so that's the sealing. So in other words, this that he was how he had a vision of revelation then, and so he told him to seal it. Now John is told to unseal it or to not seal it, rather. Okay, so this is sort of that's the book end of the beginning of Daniel sealing it. Now this is the unsealing. This is the apocalypse. This is the unveiling of what Daniel originally saw. This is what Christ was also trying to point out to them on the Mount of Olives. What kind what kind of thing is that? He's like, hey, it's as good as Ken's book, so it's just so if you already bought Ken's book, you should try and buy this book. Well, if I already bought Ken's book, then what is your book going to tell me that his doesn't? I don't know. That's just kind of funny. But anyway, I get it. Everybody's got to hustle, right? Or I don't know. See, I don't like. I guess I would accept tips, but I'm not gonna. I don't think you should charge for. I guess I don't know. You write a book, and I guess that's your opinion, right? And you feel like you should get paid to for your time. Well, anyway, it's been another enjoyable time here listening to Dawn, and thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. Peace.